Hello and welcome to INTV. This month we're coming to you from the Shidong shipyard just north of Shanghai for a special nautical edition of the show. Coming up on INTV, we'll be on board one of the new Dragon-class gas ships.
There's not a ship like this in the world. They are the absolute only multi-gas ships of this size, and they will be for a long time to come.
We access all areas at the historic naming ceremony.
Not often in our industry you get a really revolutionary moment, and this is one of them.
INEOS Chairman Jim Ratcliffe answers your questions.
Whatever happens with shale in Europe will not diminish our interest in being part of the China story.
We dart over to the Olympic Park in London and join the largest ever Go Run for Fun event.
They can see exercise can be fun. If you're a good runner, you can put your hand to anything.
And of course, we'll bring you the latest news and insight from INEOS, the word for chemicals. Hello and welcome on board this special edition of INTV. And joining me to help me navigate through the show this time is Sandra Zhang from INEOS Shanghai.
你好, Tom.
Good to see you, Sandra. Now, normally we bring INTV to you from one of our INEOS sites, but this time, as you can tell, we're on the bridge of one of our newest assets, a Dragon-class vessel.
Yes, we've been hearing so much about them over the last year, but seeing them up close, it is just amazing.
They are truly amazing vessels, and I've been finding out a bit more about them. After 3 years and millions of man-hours, the first two of these world-leading vessels are now ready to set sail for Europe. INEOS partnered with Danish shipping giant Evergas to build the ships.
I have been with the shipping industry for 35 years, and out of that I've spent about 25 years in the gas tanker business. These vessels are, by any standard, unique. They're the first ships built with this size of bi-load tanks. They're the first ships built with bi-load tanks capable of carrying LNG at minus 163 degrees. And they're the first ships that will be running on ethane basically from the commencement of the contract.
Using ethane as fuel, these massive ships more than comply with current environmental regulations, as well as being the largest of their kind.
There's not a ship like this in the world. They are the absolute only multi-gas ships of this size, and they will be for a long time to come. So we have two engines to ensure high reliability, but also we can optimize our speed to reduce the consumption and therefore also, of course, the emissions. I've been absolutely thrilled to have been part of this project. I really enjoyed working with INEOS and some of the world-class suppliers we have.
I think it is a fantastic achievement to stand here today and see that we have two identical sister ships which are built in a unique form, representing a first for the industry in many different ways.
In just a few days, these boats will set off on their maiden voyage to collect the first load for delivery to Europe.
Now you can't build ships without giving them a proper send-off. And as is the tradition, a naming ceremony was held to launch these magnificent vessels.
Welcomed by traditional dragon dancers, representatives from around China and the world attended this high-profile ceremony. Godmothers Alicia Maresca and Dawn Curry were tasked with naming the first two vessels. INEOS Ingenuity and INEOS Insight are now ready to set sail and pick up their first cargo.
Well, it's remarkable really, because I've only ever seen it on paper before. To see the thing in reality is quite a shock really, I have to say, because the scale of it is so much bigger than you anticipate.
These are really, really beautiful ships, really fantastic.
We know these vessels and the gas that comes across. there wouldn't be a petrochemical plant at Grangemouth, so it's everything.
Not often in our industry you get a really revolutionary moment, and this is one of them, and to have lived through it is quite something.
As a new era of gas transportation begins, these dragons are ready to set sail and breathe new life into the European chemicals industry.
It makes you feel very proud, really, to see the INEOS name on the side, to know that we've accomplished something which nobody's done before.
This truly is a significant moment in INEOS's history. And joining me now is David Thompson, the man who is overseeing the whole of this Mariner project. So David, tell me, how does it feel to be finally standing here on the bridge of one of these new vessels?
It's great to be on board, Tom, despite the heat, to actually see our first vessel here finished and ready to sail.
And this has been a really multinational effort, hasn't it? Tell me about the people that have been involved.
There's been a lot of partnerships. We've been very lucky with the relationships we have with our suppliers in the States, the infrastructure and terminal companies, and of course with the company here, Evergas, who built the ships.
It's amazing the way everything's been so well coordinated, but when can we expect the first gas to be loaded in America?
In October, we're on the verge of turning the dream into reality. When those first US shale gas-based feedstocks arrive at our crackers in Europe, we'll be securing the future for the petrochemical business for INEOS in Europe. We'll be bringing industry-leading economics to our sites, and we'll be securing jobs for our employees for the future.
Now, INEOS is really at the forefront here, but are we actually the first?
We've been the pioneers in this, Tom. No one's attempted this before. We've been involved in the pipelines, the fractionation, the terminals, the infrastructure, and of course the ships here. We've had to do it all, and INEOS has been the first.
So this is really going to secure the future for a lot of people back in Europe. David, thank you very much indeed for giving us the time.
Thanks, Tom.
Earlier this month, market leaders INEOS Chlorvinyls and Solvay launched a new joint venture to be known as Innovin. With 18 sites across Europe, Innovin will be able to rapidly respond to changing European markets and increasing competition from global producers.
1st of July was a really important day for us. It was the end of 3 years of trying to make this joint venture happen. The business is going to be about 3.5–4 billion euros turnover, 4,500 people, so big business in its own right, of course. Persuading the European Commission to give clearance for this was very difficult, but in the end, absolutely worth it, because now it gives us the opportunity to create the business we always wanted to create, which is going to be a great business.
All hands were on deck over in Grangemouth, Scotland, when the roof of the largest gas storage tank in Europe was finally lifted into place. Using just 3 fans, the 330-ton roof was literally blown into place in just a matter of hours. INEOS is expanding in the United Kingdom and has just opened a new office in London. INEOS Upstream, Innovin and INEOS Trading and Shipping will be based at the new offices in the UK's capital city.
We're finding we're sort of dividing our time between Switzerland and London these days, and we don't really have a proper presence here, so we've taken this building, which is in a rather nice location, I think.
INEOS is proud to announce its sponsorship of the Ariane 1 project. A British team made up of engineers, sports scientists and athletes are entering the World Human-Powered Speed Challenge in the Nevada desert. The team have designed, built and tested their super aerodynamic vehicle in the UK and will be competing against teams from all over the world.
China is the fastest growing economy in the world. INEOS is based at the heart of that. We'll be meeting with some of my colleagues to get lowdown on INEOS in China.
Steeped in tradition, with its own language and proud history, Shanghai has grown rapidly over the last 20 years to become the business capital of China. Now the country's largest city, Shanghai is also home to INEOS's China office, a hub for the international trading markets. The team here offer vital support to our businesses across the world.
China always is an important market for INEOS.
We source raw materials and fabricated equipment. Quality of the Chinese supplies is very good, especially with those ones who have strong experience for exporting.
As well as spearheading INEOS's advancement into the booming Asian markets, the team in Shanghai are responsible for the sourcing and quality control of materials coming from Asian suppliers.
We can find a big opportunity in this country for China sourcing, and we do see big contribution from my team for cost saving and future development.
With a close-knit team, they offer support to our international businesses and each other.
For me, you know, for INEOS, one of the good advantages is the people, the good teamwork.
I have opportunity to deal with many kinds of different people from overseas side, from different countries, and also various kind of supplies in China. It's great fun, and I enjoy it.
It's a very busy time for INEOS at the moment, and one man knows that better than most. I caught up with our group chairman, Jim Ratcliffe, and just about had time to put some of your burning questions to him. So, Jim, our first question comes from Guylaine de Cat in INEOS Oxide. Once Europe is also on shale gas economics, like the US, how important does China then remain in the future development of INEOS?
There was a recent article in Fortune magazine in America saying manufacturing economics in America very soon will be competitive or more competitive with China because of shale gas economics in America. Not just the cost of energy, but the fact that metals and all those types of things become more economic as well. So, you know, if we go down that road in Europe, then there's no reason Europe shouldn't be equally competitive, and it obviously will help all the economies. But that under no circumstances does that mean that we will ignore the opportunity that China offers, because it's now, if you read certain journals, the biggest economy in the world, bigger even than America. It's still growing at 5, 6, 7%. So whatever happens with shale in Europe will not diminish our interest in being part of the China story.
Well, following on from that, because we've got a question, as this edition is very much about China of INTV, a question from the team in Shanghai, which was a good follow-on to what you've just said. Do you see China in the future representing more opportunities or more challenges for INEOS?
Well, I think undoubtedly more opportunity. The challenge that we worry about, and a lot of people in the West worry about in China, is the intellectual property one, where, you know, we've invested 50 years of effort in a bit of technology, and for us, we have to be comfortable that that intellectual technology will be respected in China. You know, China itself now is extremely innovative and has become the biggest filer of patents in the world. So, you know, there's no point in being the biggest filer of patents if you don't have the legal system which then protects the patents that you file.
A completely different question here. No name on this one, but I think it's a good question, so I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you think was the most important moment in INEOS's history?
Oh, well, we've had lots of moments. There are two really critical moments in INEOS's history. One was the acquisition of INTV, because we quadrupled in size. And from being a medium-sized chemical company, predominantly European-based, we became one of the top few largest chemical companies in the world. And the second one, I think, was clearly that crisis in 2008, 2009, which tested the organisation very much. And today we're much fitter as a consequence of having been tested.
Okay, now very last question. It's from Steve Dossett in INEOS Enterprises. Have you ever thought of going into politics?
No. Well, I've thought about it, but only for a microsecond. Yeah. No. I mean, I do have views. I have to confess to that. And, but no, it would be too tortuous.
Thanks very much, Jim. That's great. Thank you.
If you'd like to put your questions to Jim, the address is on screen now.
Now, earlier this month, the largest ever Go Run for Fun event took place, and we managed to race over there and catch up with some of the participants.
Go Run for Fun has been running now for nearly 2 years. The second London event was held on the 16th of July. Athletic superstars, celebrities and 6,000 children turned out to support a great cause.
Getting young people involved in running is quite paramount in the sense of it can really bring them together, it can harmonise them, they can understand what it's like running around with company, enjoying that whole aspect, but also getting their bodies moving and perhaps introducing them into exercise where they can see exercise can be fun. Most sports are about movement and running is all about movement, and I think that if you're a good runner you can usually put your hand to anything, so running's helpful for all sports.
I think it's important so that we can keep healthy and fit in our lives.
My favorite thing about today's Dart.
Hi everyone!
He looks funny and I would love to see Dart TV.
Go Run for Fun is now the largest children's running charity, with over 85,000 having taken part worldwide.
Go Run for Fun.
I ran for fun.
That's all we have time for this month. But Sandra, thank you very much for helping me cruise through this episode.
It's been a pleasure, Tom.
Join us next time on INTV, where we'll be able to see the dragons arriving in Rafnes, Norway. Until then, goodbye.
再见。